The average worker loses almost 3 hours a day to distractions, not tasks, not breaks, straight up lost time. That's 15 hours a week, 60 hours a month. Basically, 2 full days, poof, gone. And here's the kicker. Most of us still feel guilty, like we're just not trying hard enough. Like if we just woke up earlier or bought another planner, we'd finally fix ourselves. But what if the problem isn't you? What if the real issue is the garbage we've been told about what productivity should look like? The productivity trap. We live in a world obsessed with doing more. More tasks, more goals, more checkboxes, and somewhere along the way, being productive went from something helpful to something sacred. You're either crushing it 24/7 or you're a lazy failure wasting potential. That's the vibe, right? Like if your calendar isn't color-coded and your morning routine doesn't include journaling, cold plunges, and 12 affirmations, you're already behind. And God forbid you wake up past 7 a.m. That's practically a sin in productivity culture. But here's the thing no one tells you. Productivity isn't some absolute measure of your worth. It's not a virtue. It's not morality. It's just a tool, a means, not an identity. Still, we treat it like a personality trait, like being productive makes you a better person. And that's where the pressure creeps in. Because if you're not doing enough, you must be not enough. And that thought, it messes people up deep. We start confusing being busy with being valuable. We romanticize hustle, we glorify burnout, and when we inevitably crash, we blame ourselves. If I just had more discipline, more focus, more motivation. We look at those 5 a.m. cold shower entrepreneurs on TikTok and feel like failures. But maybe the problem isn't you. Maybe the system is rigged. And here's where the first myth creeps in, that productivity is about doing everything. The truth, it's about doing what matters. But most of us are so deep in survival mode, just trying to not drown in to-dos, that we forget to even ask what's actually important. We end up working for the sake of working, moving without direction, performing productivity instead of living with intention. And the worst part, we think that's normal. The real enemies of productivity. Okay, so let's talk about what actually kills productivity, not the fake reasons you've been guilt-tripped into believing, like you're just lazy or you don't want it bad enough. Nah, that's lazy psychology. The real enemies? They're sneakier. They wear disguises. And most of the time, they don't even look like problems until you zoom out. Distraction is the obvious one, right? But it's deeper than just TikTok scrolls and unread emails. The modern world is built to hijack your attention. Your phone isn't just a tool, it's a dopamine slot machine. Every notification is a hit. And your brain, being the efficient little pleasure seeker it is, learns fast. Boring task, pain, swipe, pleasure, guess which one it's going to choose. And this loops back to the stuff we covered in the video, how to make your brain enjoy boring tasks. Your brain isn't against you. It just wants to feel good. It's not evil. It's efficient. Then there's motivation, or more accurately, the myth of motivation. We're told we need to feel inspired first, that the right mindset will magically unlock our potential. Spoiler, it won't. If you've seen our other video, this is why you can't stop procrastinating. You know that waiting for motivation is like waiting for a ride that never shows up. Most people don't lack motivation. They're avoiding the emotion behind the task. Fear of failing, fear of not being good enough, fear of starting and realizing they're not who they thought they were. That's the real drag. And finally, poor time management, which, hot take, is rarely about calendars or planners. It's about energy management. It's about attention. You can schedule your entire day perfectly and still get nothing done if your brain is fried or emotionally overloaded. Productivity isn't a spreadsheet problem. It's a human problem. And trying to fix it with another app or a color-coded system is like slapping duct tape on a sinking boat. Looks neat, still sinks. What's really going on? Let's zoom in. Ever sit down to do something important, like a project for work, or maybe finally start that thing you've been putting off for weeks, and suddenly remember that your desk desperately needs organizing, or that now is definitely the right time to deep clean your kitchen sink? Yeah, that's not you being random. That's your brain running from discomfort dressed up as productivity. And this is where the myth hits hardest. We think we're procrastinating because we don't care. But most of the time, it's the opposite. We care too much, just like we broke down in This Is Why You Can't Stop Procrastinating. Procrastination is less about laziness and more about emotional avoidance. That task you're avoiding, it probably means something that's tied to identity, to fear, to perfectionism. And your brain, trying to keep you safe, just reroutes your attention to something easier, something less emotionally risky. That's how you end up color coding your email folders at 1 a.m. instead of finishing the portfolio that actually matters. Same thing with motivation. You're not lazy for not wanting to do hard or boring stuff. Your brain literally isn't wired to enjoy discomfort. But that's where training comes in, like we covered in How to Make Your Brain Enjoy Boring Tasks. You can actually rewire your brain to see hard tasks as less threatening, not by forcing joy, but by creating little habits, using things like the Pomodoro method or giving yourself instant rewards. These tools aren't gimmicks, they're hacks for how your dopamine system works. And once your brain starts linking boring tasks to micro pleasures, game changer, and time management, let's not even pretend a new planner is going to fix emotional burnout. If you're constantly switching tasks, can't focus for more than 10 minutes, and feel drained after 2 hours of work, it's not because you suck at planning. It's because your attention is cooked, your brain is overstimulated. You're not broken. You're just human in an environment that's designed to keep you overwhelmed. The problem isn't effort, is that we're playing on hard mode without even realizing it. The shift that changes everything, all right. Here's the part nobody puts on motivational posters. The secret to getting things done isn't about doing more. It's about doing less, better. It's about shifting your definition of productivity from how much can I squeeze into one day to what actually moves me forward, because real productivity doesn't always look impressive. Sometimes it looks like saying no, like taking a nap, like walking away from your laptop to process your own thoughts for once. One of the biggest lies we've been fed is that if something matters, it should feel urgent, that if you're not grinding, you're slacking. But some of the most productive people in the world don't work more, they recover more. They know how to focus deeply on the right things and then step back. They're not riding a wave of constant motivation. They're building systems that work even when they feel like trash, like setting triggers, building rituals, using techniques that, over time, create consistency. How to Make Your Brain Enjoy Boring Tasks breaks this down perfectly. It's not about hacking your brain into liking everything. It's about lowering the resistance to starting. And you only need to start. That's the unlock. But here's the most powerful shift. Stop tying productivity to your identity. You're not a better person because you crushed a to-do list, and you're not a failure because you didn't. Productivity isn't proof of worth. It's a strategy, a tool, and like any tool, it needs context. You don't use a hammer for every problem. So why treat your productivity routine like it's sacred? Burnout isn't a badge of honor, and your value isn't defined by your output. So what if, instead of obsessing over doing more, you focused on why you're doing it at all? What's actually meaningful? What's just noise? The minute you get clear on that, when you zoom out and ask, is this helping me become who I want to be? Everything shifts. You stop performing productivity and start living it, and that's where the real magic happens. Rewriting the script. So let's rewind. You're not broken, you're not lazy, and you're definitely not the problem. Just like we talked about in This Is Why You Can't Stop Procrastinating, performance without intention is just burnout in disguise. The real issue is that you've been operating under a system of half-truths and corporate buzzwords that treat productivity like a personality contest. You've been told to optimize every minute of your life, that rest is weakness, and that feeling tired means you're not trying hard enough. And all of that, it's trash. Burn it. What we've really uncovered here isn't just the truth about productivity myths, it's the fact that the whole game has been rigged. We've been gaslit into thinking that more equals better, that busy equals successful, that multitasking equals mastery. But all of those things are distractions. They feel good in the short term, make you feel like you're doing something, but they drain your focus, your creativity, and your sense of purpose. You can't fake fulfillment. Your brain knows when you're lying to yourself. The way out? Clarity, simplicity, and honesty. Start by asking better questions. Not how do I do more, but what actually matters today. Not how do I look productive, but what will make me feel proud tonight. Productivity isn't about forcing yourself into someone else's idea of success. It's about designing a system that respects your energy, honors your focus, and gives you space to breathe. That means letting go of the noise, the fake urgency, the guilt. It means giving yourself permission to move at your own pace without apology. Because at the end of the day, productivity isn't about crushing every task. It's about momentum, moving forward in small, honest steps. Sometimes messy, sometimes slow, but always real. And when you stop measuring progress by how many hours you worked and start measuring it by how aligned you feel with your goals, that's when you start to win for real this time.